not just how to use AI for content, but to create authentic AI content. Today, I'm joined by a good friend, but not only that, my co-founder, Fatima Khan. And yeah, I'm super excited to dive into today's session with you, Fatima.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Charlie, for having me in your second LinkedIn Live with your favorite guest, I'm sure. So, this is in honor of our community launch, the AI Creators Club. We will be talking about it in a bit. But before that, let us know where everyone is coming in from. I see some people rolling in. Let us know where you're joining us from. Charlie and I are both based in London, and we are with you for the next 90 minutes. So, I'm excited to get active in the chat.
Oh, we've got Denny here from Philadelphia. Hey, Denny, good to have you here. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you're joining us, please let us know where you're joining us from.
We are giving away a lot of value in this session, by the way. Charlie is honestly a little drained because he's been working on this presentation for hours and hours today. He spent 5 hours collecting all the material. There's so much that he's going to be covering. You know how you have a routine that you follow when you're working, you go and you're excited, you do your magic, but when it comes to breaking it down into a system and creating templates that people can implement from it takes a lot more effort. So that's exactly what Charlie has done for this particular session. For everyone who is right now with us, you will get an exclusive tea on Charlie's AI methods, AI content writing methods. We are actually going to create a post from scratch in this session. So you will see how Charlie's brain works and how he makes it happen with all his AI assistants and AI agents. So yeah, so many people from so many countries, Pakistan, India, South Asian fellows. Hello, Germany. Namaste.
Yeah, honestly, I spent so much time on this presentation. I was getting ready for it yesterday evening, and oh my god, I went into such a rabbit hole of AI content. I was like, wow, I want to just like go so deep on this, and it ended up being like the whole evening and like the majority of today just exploring and finding the best workflows that aren't just for me, but also are repeatable for you, the audience, who are watching us and joining us today. So thank you for carving out the time. And I'm just super excited to dive in. Hopefully everything works, because this is the thing with AI content and live demonstrations. You can have a few mishaps here and there. So fingers crossed. Oh, hi, Sama. Good to see you. So yeah, super excited to dive into today's session. Let's just get right into it. And thank you.
Yeah. And we are doing one special thing in this session. So the two of us made posts about giving free tickets to our community that goes live in January. And in this session live, we're going to select a winner randomly. Charlie's going to spin the wheel and see who it lands on. So stay with us towards the end of the session. That's when we are going to reveal the winners. So there's going to be two people who will be winning free tickets to our community that goes live next month. I'm really excited to see who that is.
Yeah, I cannot wait to spin the wheel and see who the lucky person is. So without further ado, let's dive into the content. So today we're talking about how to create authentic AI content. The word authentic is thrown around a lot on LinkedIn, but ultimately it's so important, because AI is an amplifier, not a replacement for us and who we are, and it can help you 10x your content production without losing your voice online. So that's what I really want to show you how to do today. So before we dive into the nitty-gritty and the real meat, I just want to talk about our upcoming community, which Fatima and I ran a bootcamp together in September, and it went so well. And we had such great results that we thought, why not make this official? Why not launch a community? So that's exactly what we're doing. In January, it's going live, and doors close the end of this month. So there's not long left to sign up. But ultimately, the value that we're giving away here is immense. Basically, if you sign up and join us, you'll receive around 5 hours worth of pre-recorded video content from myself and Fatima. Giving away all our AI workflows, our LinkedIn hacks, absolutely everything. I don't personally gatekeep anything. And as well as personalized GPTs, which are proprietary and only available to our community members. Plus, we have some amazing guest speakers. When I say amazing, they are top notch. We've got John Hughes from Stan, we've got Justin Wright, and Sophie Miller from Pretty Smarter. And yeah, they'll be joining us each month in the new year. And finally, which I think is probably one of the most valuable things about the community, is the daily posting challenges, whereby we give you templates and pre-validated post topics and structures which have already performed well before. So this really helps to overcome that blank page syndrome. And yeah, I think it's immense value, and it's definitely a lot we're giving away here.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Essentially, you're locking in for the next 3 months with us starting January 5th, and we have a 3-month link growth plan all mapped out for you inside. So each week you're going to get link content, post ideas, and then we're teaching you our AI systems. For example, go on Charlie's profile. He made this post, I think it was yesterday, on how you can create carousels using Gemini, and it's such a simple hack to optimize such a tedious task. You can literally do it in minutes. And if anybody has ever created carousels on LinkedIn, which perform really good, get the best reach for in terms of content formats for me, and they are really time consuming. So we will teach you different strategies. Today is going to be a glimpse of that. So inside the community, we're going to teach you many more other content marketing strategies, and we're also giving you custom GPTs created for our clients. One of which was so well received in the bootcamp. A lot of people would just go and ask that GPT questions instead of coming to us. But you do have access to both of us inside the community. The GPTs were very well received, and one thing, something that we haven't really advertised in when promoting this community, we are also giving you templates. The infographics that Charlie posts every single week, the ones that I post, for the two of us combined, they have generated over 40 million impressions on LinkedIn just this year. So you are getting all of those resources that you can implement for yourself. All you have to do is just recreate them, customize them in your branding, and you're good to go with your copies. So yeah, there's so much that you're getting inside. We're just telling you a little bit about it because we have so much planned out in this section that we want to cover instead. So if you're interested, go on our website, the AI Creator Club. I think we have.
Yeah, you can scan the QR code in the top. I think it's this way I need to point, but
yeah,
it's in the top right corner of the screen. You can scan that, or visit either of our profiles to access it. And 100%, we want you to copy us. We want you to steal all the workflows, the templates, the designs, everything that we have. So we're giving away everything. And also, one last thing I want to stress is the personalized feedback. I get thousands, hundreds of DMs every single week, and in the community, I'm always checking it every single day and providing personalized feedback on your posts. So that's me being like, no, change the hook, do this instead, and Fatima as well. So I think that's also one of the biggest value adds in the community. So shall we dive in?
Let's go.
Okay. So today I want to share with you a framework which I discovered when writing my own LinkedIn content, when ghostwriting for dozens of clients at one time. This wouldn't be possible if I didn't develop this framework. And I call it the chef framework because I like to approach AI content the same way a chef would when cooking in the kitchen. First, you need to create context. Secondly, it's heat with AI. Next, enhance with flavor. And finally, feed the community. We're going to deep dive into all aspects of how to cook up fire content using this very framework, which I've leveraged for myself and all of my ghostwriting and content clients too. And yeah, we've seen massive success with our community members leveraging this very same framework. So one thing I really want to stress is that AI has surpassed human content online. Now, when you check any social media platform or any blog article, over 50% of it is now AI generated, which to me, it doesn't surprise me. Everybody's got access to these tools. User adoption is going up across the board. So how can we stand out in the sea of AI generated content? Everybody's got access to the tools, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can differentiate yourself and really cut through the noise in today's world. So let's start with create context. This is probably the most important aspect when it comes to generating AI content. Imagine that you need to cook a meal. You're a chef in a kitchen. First, you need to assemble the ingredients to make the best dish possible. If you don't have them, then your content, your food isn't going to be very good. So I really want to show you how to get the best result here. First, we're going to start by gathering as many raw materials as possible. And I'll show you exactly how. The first is a deep research report. A deep research report is basically a very, very, very comprehensive analysis on you. And all the major LLMs offer this feature. In this use case, which is here, I've used Google Gemini. I'll show you how to do that, because I know it's not obvious to a lot of people, but deep research is basically here. You click on tools. I'm using Gemini because it has dethroned ChatGPT, and I'm actually using it most of the time now. And you want to select deep research. Next, you want to use a simple prompt, like I did in this use case. It said, conduct a deep research report on Charlie Hills, an AI content creator primarily on LinkedIn. I'll attach his profile. And by doing that, you are going to receive an incredibly comprehensive report on all of your online activities. Literally, I read it and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's every single word, every single thing that I've shared online. And it's incredibly powerful. So yeah, if you haven't done one of those before, do it, because one, it's interesting, and two, it's very helpful when it comes to generating AI content. This is just a little snapshot here of what it looks like. It goes into everything. It mentions the current businesses I'm working on and my journey. Next, you should assemble a background story and an origin story. So basically, who you are, your achievements, and your future goals. By giving AI this content, then it's going to know as much about you as feasibly possible. And the more context you provide it, the better the output will be. Next, so these are the two things I'm referring to here: background story here, origin story here. And you could use AI to help you write this, but I would recommend using as much raw brain juice as possible. Next, I asked for the biggest pain points that professionals face when creating content on LinkedIn and using AI for content. So you could run that through any LLM, but in this use case, I've selected Perplexity. And I've used their research feature, which is similar to the deep research feature I covered in Gemini. Essentially, I just want to uncover the real pain points that my ICP is experiencing, because when I get to generating content, then I will actually speak to them in the content that I'm producing. And finally, it's the videos. It's all the YouTube videos, all the podcasts I've ever made an appearance on. I'm collating all of them. So then, that is my raw truth. Those are things that I've just shared in an hour-long conversation with people. And these are probably the best sources of information that we can find when it comes to generating AI content. And where am I putting them? I'm putting them in Notebook LM, which, if you haven't tried it recently, it got a serious upgrade. Notebook LM is the best RAG engine that you can use to retrieve your content from multiple sources, because sometimes I get to writing a LinkedIn post and I'm like, oh, I forgot what I should write about. I forgot how to go on LinkedIn. This has all of my hacks, tips, and tricks. For example, you can see I've uploaded all of those respected documents that I've spoken about. Plus, I've also exported my LinkedIn posts. So this goes into detail about everything that I've ever written on LinkedIn. And it is a little bit of a hack to do this, but if you go to LinkedIn and open Authored Up, then there is an export button somewhere. I mean, I forgot where it was yesterday. Yeah, there is an export option in Author, which is super useful because typically it's very hard to export your LinkedIn post. I can't remember where it is, but I'm just saying, definitely check out Author if you haven't already, because yeah, I've shared most of my thoughts and advice on LinkedIn. So now we have all the sources assembled. You can see I've uploaded as much as I possibly can, and you should too. Now we can ask Notebook LM for very specific ideas and advice. For example, if I want to type in how to win on LinkedIn, it's something that's very nuanced. And if you go to any major LLM and you type in how to win on LinkedIn, you're going to get the most outdated, bland advice ever. Like, use hashtags, join groups. Like, who does that stuff? That doesn't work. Speaking from experience. So the power in doing this is that it's going to retrieve all of my ideas and advice I've ever shared on LinkedIn and beyond. So yeah, it typically takes a few minutes, but yeah, now you can see it's talking about me and my journey. For example, I went from 0 to 106K followers in 18 months. I quit my 9 to 5. I built a 6-figure business. This is very specific and unique to me. So it's very, very powerful when it comes to writing content, because instead of remembering everything, you can rely on a tool like Notebook LM. So now that we have this, how can we convert this into content? Let me just go back to the slides. So yeah, now it's time to heat with AI. Now we've assembled the raw ingredients. Now it's time to actually start thinking about cooking up that dish and fire content. So in Notebook LM, I've uploaded all my sources, but one thing that I should not miss here is the fact that I provided it with custom instructions. You might be familiar with this in ChatGPT, but ultimately I've said to Notebook LM that you are me, the author of the files. I need you to repurpose this source material into a comprehensive, high-packed social media content. Always first-person narrative, no generic advice. I want it to be very comprehensive and action-orientated, and to use bullet points. It's quite simple. I mean, I'm happy to share these custom instructions with the audience. I will be doing a full recap of everything we've covered, so don't worry about taking notes or doing too much note taking, because I'll share it in my newsletter after the session. And then finally, I've opted for longer responses here because I wanted to extract as much information as possible. And we can see from this output, this is all of my custom advice. Every single person I say, every single client I say, focus on 70% top of the funnel, 20% middle of the funnel, and then 10% bottom of the funnel. And this is my specific framework that I'm literally sharing with you right now, the share framework. So you see how powerful it can be. So now, let's get to the heating with AI. I want to share with you 3 workflows of creating LinkedIn content that you can take home and create yourself. For example, I'm going to focus on infographics, carousels, and then single images, all leveraging AI. I personally still use human graphic designers to create carousels and cheat sheets, but if you don't have the resources or the capacity to do that, then this workflow will help you a lot. So let's dive in. Cool. So we're using Gemini, which is now the best model to use. And essentially, what we want to do is I'm going to go into Gemini. I'm going to copy my Notebook LM output and paste that in there. And essentially, what I'm asking Gemini to do is to transfer this text to Canvas. And Canvas is another really nifty feature of Gemini that that we'll be using quite frequently throughout this session. So what this does is that it will basically take that Notebook LM output and just put it into a nice editable Canvas file, which Notebook LM doesn't have, I can't go into there and change things. Whereas if we put it into Canvas, then I can start making edits to the output that is provided me with. Then one feature that I really like is the change length. So we can go from a normal length to a very short length. And if we're creating any form of social media content, then it needs to be as bite-sized, snappy, and quick and actionable as possible. And that's essentially what it's doing here. So this is great. But now if we're thinking about it for creating an infographic, then I would personally chop off this section here. And then I'm going to give it a title, How to Win on LinkedIn. Great. And then I'm just going to briefly read through it and make sure that everything is good. Okay, these all look quite good. Seems to have lost the share framework, which I personally quite like included. Okay, this, for example. Let's add that in because I think that is good content to add. Oh yeah, the share framework, perfect. Great. And then ultimately, like this has changed as we're covering. Like it used to be these sections. Now it's a little bit different. I actually made it an acronym rather than what it currently is in this document. So I'll quickly change that. So curate, and then it's heat, enhance, and then finally it's feed. Cool. Okay, so this looks like a good cheat sheet brief to me. And this is the exact same process that I use for outsourcing my content to designers, but instead I'm going to use AI 100% of the time here. The one thing I'm going to add is my typical follow and repost call to action at the bottom. And then this looks good to me. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to head over to a Gemini gem that I've created, which are basically like GPTs. The only downside to using a gem is that GPTs can be shared on the GPT store, whereas gems, they're not quite as functional and accessible as GPTs are. But hey, they're still very powerful and very similar. So now that I have this content, I'm going to paste that into the gem. I'm going to copy paste this prompt, which I have pre-created. And basically I'm asking Gemini to create LinkedIn infographic design that covers all of the content of the following. I want it to use diagrams, arrows, boxes, captions, etc. And then I provided it with my brand colors too, which obviously is very important if we want on-brand, good-looking content. So now that that's there, there's two things I need to do here. One, I need to select thinking, because I was testing this quite comprehensively, and I found when it was just left in fast mode, output quality dropped. And then finally, it's our favorite, Nano Banana. We need to create the images. So awesome. I think we're good to go. Now, I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to cross my fingers here because, oh yeah, this always happens. Don't worry. That does look like an error, but for some weird reason, Gemini has these weird kind of, regulatory stuff whereby they don't allow you to generate images of public figures, but there's no public figure in my text input. So it's very weird. Okay, come on, Gemini, don't let me down here. Okay, loading Nano Banana. That's what we want to see. And then this will take a second. So I will quickly address some comments. Yes, there will be a recording. I don't know why it's not generating the image. Come on, my friend. And this is the thing with Gemini generally. I do find it to be quite buggy, let's say. And it can take a few iterations to get to the desired output.
When did you move to Gemini from ChatGPT?
Like I'd probably say since last week, because Gemini 3 came out,
Yeah,
and
that's what I was wondering.
yeah, then they updated Nano Banana, and it's just like
Oh, wow.
the best. So this is quite good. I had more success with other
Mm,
generations,
that's
but
amazing. I know this post will go viral. 100%.
you think?
I am posting that tomorrow.
For sure. No, I think the raw material is there for sure. And personally, I would prefer if it was like graphically designed, because it would have that extra oomph and power. But
I think that's brilliant. The fact that it took out all the brand colors as well, that's amazing.
yeah, it's incredibly on brand, which is definitely what we want, and it's optimized for LinkedIn with those dimensions. The only thing that we'll need to add here is our CTA and banner. So I'm going to add that into Canva and then just jiggle it around a little bit, and then there we go. We have quite a nice infographic here,
Wow.
which we could publish. For example, that ideogram logo that isn't 100% accurate, so that's quite a simple fix.
That took
I'm
like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean, if that, I mean, yeah, from the ideation,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah, from ideation to final concept, yes. But for example, these logos here, that's not the ideogram logo, and that's not the Stanley logo, so it's quite a simple fix. I could just
Oh, you're
create
being
it.
picky. I would just, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's got to be the right logo. But I love
Wow,
it
yeah.
because it's my actual advice. It's talking about the chef framework. It's talking about the funnel that I
Yeah.
recommend. It's talking about even I've said this before, engagement, community is queen. Like, content is king, but community is queen. That's a line that I've said before. So it's really powerful, and yeah, probably one of the most effective ways to create like nice on brand.
I'm genuinely blown away, and our
Really?
comments are blowing up as well. Like, people are amazed. This is amazing. So this is just the beginning, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, it's crazy that the model can do this now. So imagine what it can do in 3 months' time. It's going to be next level. And yeah, I think that these are finally social media ready. These types of infographics. Before with ChatGPT, I was kind of like, oh, we're close, but not quite there. Now I'm like, this is nice. And this is one that I generated earlier, and I do kind of prefer this one. It's a little bit more visually pleasing, but it is
Yeah.
yeah, it's super cool.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So thank you. No, so my recommendation is always to get it graphically designed, but hey, if you just want to quickly create a post, then like Fatima said, you can do this in just 10 minutes using Canvas and Nano Banana. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Next one that I want to cover is carousels, because carousels are a bit time consuming and take a lot of time to create, and they're probably one of my best performing content types. If you follow me, you've probably seen how many I post, probably like 5 a week, and they are so powerful when you get them right. So now I want to basically take the same canvas brief that we've created over here, and then I'm going to put it into Gemini again. This time I have a bit of a different prompt. I've got convert the content below into HTML and Tailwind CSS structure. So that's basically HTML code. And I want it to be the standard LinkedIn dimensions, which, if you don't know by now, it's 1080 by 1350 pixels, or 4:5 aspect ratio. That will be optimized for like a scroll stopping post and not be in that kind of square 1:1 aspect ratio. And then again, I want it to cover all the key points into clickable slides and to use these colors. So I'm going to enable Canvas again, and then I'm going to hit enter. And yeah, fingers crossed. Every single time I hit enter, I'm just like, please AI, work like we practiced. But yeah, then it's going to take a few minutes and just generate a LinkedIn carousel for us. And if you saw my post from yesterday, I showed you exactly how to do this with a YouTube video. But the key distinction that we're doing here is that it's from our content, it's from our expertise. It's not just some random YouTube video from online. It's actually our specific guidance and recommendation. So okay, it's working. Phew. But yeah, so this will just, it'll probably take like, I want to say 30 seconds longer. So if there are any questions, we can quickly get to them. So I would still recommend having Canva and then combining it with Nano Banana to add just a few elements that it might miss, because Canva is still king. There's no doubt about it. And then Kathleen, there will be a recording available. You can just check it out by going to the very same event page that you're on right now. And then the recording will automatically generate after the event. And yeah, there's a few questions about the recording. Which tools need paid memberships to generate content? So I am actually subscribed to Gemini Ultra, which is like the top tier, but I believe you can generate all of this on a free account or a pro account, which is around $20 per month. Besides that, you can keep your stack quite lean. Canva, Notion I'd recommend as well. And then, yeah, if you want to keep it as lean as possible, then just stick to those tools. Do you have any ones that you'd recommend? Oh, Authored Up. That's a really good tool. Cool. So yeah, this is an outline of how the LinkedIn carousel might look. It's not rendered 100% correctly, but you get the gist. You get the feeling of what it might look like. And the cool thing about this is that you can always highlight a section by going down to select and ask in the bottom right. And then let's say that I don't like this subheading here. So then I can prompt Gemini, say, please remove the subheading highlighted. And you can actually make real-time changes to your carousel with simple text prompts. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gone. And it's replaced it with that instead, which fine. Let's just roll with it. Okay, cool. Because now we have this and we approve the outline, although it's not rendering 100% correct, but it'll do its job. So let's just go to the code section here, which is next to preview, and it'll give you the entire HTML code that is used to create this carousel. Then this prompt is a bit of a big one. I cannot lie. So I'm going to go to a new chat window. I'm going to paste in the prompt. I'm going to Control A and Control C, the entirety of that code. And then, okay, let's just briefly touch upon the prompt. So I'm asking it, I've given it a role. I said you are a social media strategist and expert graphic designer. And basically, I need it to create a carousel based on that HTML code. And it's going to create a series of images. I've given it my brand style, which this can be interchangeable for your style, whatever style you want to generate. And then the process is essentially, it's going to analyze it, not generate any images, and provide me with an initial outline. Once I've approved that outline, then it will generate each slide one by one with this one prompt, which is just, it blew my mind when I found out that Gemini could do this. Because if you wanted to create a carousel with pure AI content, then you'd have to generate image by image, and it'd be so time consuming, especially if you're using ChatGPT. Whereas now with Gemini, it can be done with just one single prompt, which is crazy. Okay, cool. Now it's given me the outline of the carousel, which ultimately it should match the preview that we're seeing here. Okay, how to win on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's literally the exact same content. Perfect. And this is why I just want to stress that it doesn't matter if the preview is like 100, and you can scroll down and see it. So like, as long as you kind of approve the main information that's on here, then you're good to go. So this looks good to me. I'm going to just simply say approve, and then you must enable create images and also have thinking enabled too. So now this does take a bit of time, and this is the one I'm the most afraid of messing up because I probably tested it so many times, and like it didn't always generate the series of images, but I'm hopeful because I've made the prompt quite full safe now at this point. Fail safe. Yeah, so we have some time to answer some questions now because it will take a little bit. So one question from Prince is, do you store content in Notion? I mean, I certainly do. My whole content strategy runs on Notion. Without it, I'd be living in Google Docs and it'd be an absolute mess.
Yeah, we actually give our workflow inside the community as well. So we'll show you how you can store all your content and create, and like if you create a content calendar, essentially we'll give you our templates for that as well. It's pretty useful.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to me, Notion seems like second nature, but I remember when I was just getting started out, I was like, wait, how do I set up Notion? Once you've got it working,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I know it's not the most user friendly at first, but once you track it, like it is addictive.
So Terry, the YouTube carousel is a post that I put out just over 24 hours ago now on my LinkedIn profile. If you wanted to see that workflow, I shared the exact prompt that I used in my newsletter. So Victoria says, do you teach this as a class or something where you could give practical exercises or something? Oh, it's generating. Ooh, it looks so good. Yeah, so I mean, that is like the AI Creators Club, essentially. Like, it's every week, it's a different session. You know, we focus on LinkedIn growth, and then we also focus on the latest AI workflows, like I'm demonstrating to you today. So yeah, it's always practical, hands-on guidance, never waffle or surface level stuff. Okay, so this is almost done. I think we're just waiting for number 7.
That looks really good.
Thank you. You know, I'm actually quite impressed. This one turned out good. And Yuval's asked me a question, which is actually true. So I did 1 year studying graphic design on an internship, and that really helped when it came to LinkedIn.
Yeah, so my banner and Charlie's banner, our featured section, it's all designed by Charlie. He literally did that in 10 minutes sitting next to me. I was surprised by his graphic design skills on Canva as well. So he's a good designer.
Thank you. No, I wouldn't say I'm amazing, but yeah, good. I'll take it. Okay, awesome. We've
amazing with AI.
Thank you. Yeah, clearly, as we're demonstrating right now. So yeah, now we have it, then we can go over to Canva. This is why Canva is still a crucial part of what we're doing, because without it, then we'll just have a bunch of PNGs, which is fine, but we need somewhere to put it and convert it into a PDF. Like, I mean, there are numerous tools that you can use to convert PNG to JPEG, but just for simplicity, I just find Canva's nice. Just if you want to add any like additional elements, or there's anything that might have been missed. So I'm just adding these over to. Oh wait, hang on. Google actually showed me something really cool. What? I wonder if we can do it, or wonder if it's gonna. Oh yeah. This one. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, and then boom, we could just like move these over to Canva. Okay. Quick. Don't want to waste everybody's time just copy and pasting. But yeah, this is honestly like it's getting to the point where I would actually post this content. The only thing that is missing is the ability to edit the text, which you can with follow-up prompts, but it might actually be more time consuming than it's worth at this point to do that. And then perfect. Okay, this is looking like a good LinkedIn carousel. I guess one thing I could add in is my little profile picture here. add a frame, and then find a picture of me, and then voila. I think I think it's a nice carousel. So yeah, that was all with just one prompt, which is absolutely crazy. Like when I found this workflow, I was like, damn, this is next level AI content stuff. So yeah, I had to share it with you guys. And yeah, it's a good way if you don't have any templates or resources to create carousels from
This is
scratch.
my favorite one so far. It's amazing.
The carousels, thank you. Yeah, and you could do this with any content. Let's say that you have a blog article that you want to convert into a carousel. Easy. You could
And
just
even
follow.
your previous posts, like any content that you've done previously, you can recreate it in a carousel format by feeding it to Gemini. Yeah, that looks fantastic. There's a question by Sidra that I want to address.
Oh,
She's asking, I think infographics are working better these days than carousels. What works best for you? What's working really well for you, Charlie?
so for me it's got to be cheat sheets and carousels. But I follow a very interesting process here. Throughout the week, I post carousels because I find them so easy to create at this point. I have templates and they perform very well. But then on the weekends, it's a little bit harder to stand out, and people aren't scrolling as long as they are in the week. So I post cheat sheets and infographics on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they usually do pretty well. It's a new process that I found. Besides that, yeah, maybe a video here and there, but always carousels and infographics. That's exactly what we've covered. How about you, Fatima?
I did not post carousels for the longest time, but this week I think I posted after many, many weeks, maybe months, and my carousel outperformed every other format. I was
No way.
surprised at how much reach it got. Like it did 3 times better with um I think the vanity metrics were below my average, and despite of that, the reach was really good. So I am actually going to do more carousels going forward. I'm going to test it out, and I will follow the entire tutorial that we are demonstrating.
No, for sure. Especially once you have like a you can probably upload one of your old carousels as well and say like
Mhm.
replicate this style. And yeah, it's easy. Like you save time, you save money, you save everything. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And I'd like to say on that point as well that Roisin did say something which I strongly agree with. Joining the AI Creators Club is also a no-brainer.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if you'd like to join us and dive deeper into these types of workflows, because this stuff changes like every single week, then just scan the QR code. I believe it's up there in the top hand corner.
And let us know in the chat what's working best for you, like what format is working the best for people in the audience. Interested to see how it varies.
Talk near the mic, someone says. Okay, sorry. Yes, and please do
Yeah,
let
go
us know.
on.
Okay. Ooh, I mean, Louise asked a very interesting question. You created all these examples for AI. What are the risks of 360 Brew and the algo spot AI content? Cheers. I mean, I can't really say too much about that. I use AI for all of my content, nearly, besides the graphics. But now with Nano Banana, I might actually use it. One of the ways to combat this is to actually upload into Canva, because otherwise LinkedIn will assign you an AI tag if you upload a pure AI generated image. I did that for a post about the LinkedIn algorithm. Basically, LinkedIn in a support ticket gave me so much guidance about the algorithm. So I generated an AI image in ChatGPT, uploaded it to Canva, exported, uploaded to LinkedIn, and it honestly went viral. And it wasn't like considered an AI image. So I think the rules are the same. I use AI to write all of my posts, obviously quasi human AI, and I'm not being penalized. So from personal experience, I don't think it's a risk. The only thing that might be a risk is your brand identity being lost. That's why the consistency and the continuity, like I'm showing you today, is very important. Otherwise, we'll all just look the same, and it'll be such a boring place. And Umi says, please gift us these prompts. I will be giving away all of these prompts in a newsletter, I think, on Sunday. Depends how my Friday goes. But yes, I will send a full recap to everybody. All right. Finally, let's move on to the last workflow that I want to share when it comes to generating AI content. specifically for the graphics. So this one is something that I've shared before on LinkedIn, but I still think it's incredibly useful. It's generating realistic images with Google's Nano Banana. And essentially, what you can do here is basically take one of your posts. So I posted about LinkedIn being unbearably cringe, or no, sorry, Elon Musk said it was unbearably cringe. And basically, what you want to do is get a reference image of yourself, which I'm just pulling up right now. Cool. Okay. And then I'm just going to say, I'm 28, I'm a white male. So it knows it can bake that into the prompt. And then I'm going to paste that in. And essentially what this gem that I've created, and more than happy to share this with everybody. I also included it on a LinkedIn post I put out last Friday. Essentially what it's going to do is it's going to gather the context from the post, and then it's going to create a prompt for me that I can put into Google's Nano Banana. So this is great. This is a pro prompt. It's used like all the best practices, saying it's been shot on a Sony Alpha 1 with a 35mm lens. Like it's so good. We didn't even have to write it ourselves. So this is another like AI hack and workflow that I use personally to write most of my prompts. Rarely do I sit there and write them from scratch. I'm always prompting the prompt. Just give it enough context about what you want to create, and 9 times out of 10 it will make you a great prompt, especially if you're iterating and testing it in real time. Subhood, and I think we're watching that very workflow right now. Because this is so close to replacing Canva. Canva is still king, but I think these outputs are really good. And damn, okay, this is the personal picture post which has been generated. It's pretty good. The likeness is almost there. I personally wouldn't say it looks 100% like me, but it's actually not bad. And it's perfectly captured me in Zion National Park in Utah, which my post that I pasted in did indeed mention. So, one of the biggest reasons why I don't share more personal pictures and posts is because I don't have them. So following this workflow, you can generate like more images like this. And Fatima, I think that you've actually got some experience with this workflow. Like you've used these types of images before with AI, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, no, I have actually. And to my surprise, those are some of my best performing posts, and those are not my real images, they're AI images. I always disclose them in my content though. So yeah, this works. And like you said, I don't have that many images of me working, in a professional setting, because we work from home. So we are not in office attires all the time. We work remotely. We are not taking photographs of ourselves working all the time. So this is really good to capture our essence and keep building up personal brands from home, from the comfort of our rooms. Yeah.
Exactly. I know. I wish I had a full-time photographer with me, but I don't. So so these are the 3 respective workflows that you could use in Google's Gemini: cheat sheets, carousels, and single images. And these are the best types of content for LinkedIn. Video does also work, but recently it hasn't been doing so well. So let's move on, because we spent a lot of time heating with AI now. It must be hot, it must be baking, boiling, ready to go. So now it's really on to enhancing with flavor, which is something I always advocate for. I'm never going to simply just post something 100% AI generated. It has to be tweaked by a human. And this is obviously where the edits and Canva come in, like I loosely demonstrated, but also for writing your posts. I advise a framework which fits in perfectly with what we're talking about today. It's the spice framework. And like when you're cooking, if you don't add the spices, it's gonna be bland. So I want to share with you how we can do this. So again, we have the Notebook LM output, which is going to come in handy right now. I'm going to copy the entirety of it. I'm not going to use the canvas. output because that was redacted and changed. And instead, I'm going to go to a new chat. I'll paste in the entirety of the Notebook LM output. And then maybe I will just tweak some of this text here because that's, it's different. It's not 100% accurate. Some of the content I uploaded was a little bit outdated. And then I've got this prompt, which is basically going to turn this into a LinkedIn post for us. Again, it's quite a comprehensive one. It's acting as a LinkedIn ghostwriting expert is going to transform the content into a high converting post using this very framework, which I didn't mention, stands for situation, problem, intervention, change, and then evidence. And this is probably one of the best ways to really connect with your audience and also show the real metrics and success that you've got from doing something. And I think some of my best performing LinkedIn posts have always had a personal story at the start, a personal account rather than just a generic post, which basically anybody could write. Okay, so this looks pretty good to me. Obviously, it's not 100% optimized for LinkedIn yet. So let's go over to here and paste it in. And let's have a look. Okay, so this hook, 0 to 180K followers in 18 months. Okay, so I'd personally add a few more I's in here, I statements. I crossed 180K plus followers in 18 months. Okay, that's interesting. I quit my 9 to 5 and built a 6-figure. Okay, cool. I'm hooked. I'm hooked already. I'm like, what? How? And then so this is the problem section here. I'm talking about the struggle that I went through. And yeah, obviously at this point, I'm not just pasting the AI content. I'm going through, I'm making it personal and showing, actually adding formatting and LinkedIn best practices. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but this is already looking like a decent LinkedIn post. I just spend a bit of time now adding arrows, adding dashes, adding the stuff which is second nature to me. It might not be to everybody, but ultimately you want to keep those sentences short, engaging, and just a light read, because everybody on LinkedIn is skimming. They're not going to read paragraphs and paragraphs of written word. It needs to be short, under 50 characters per max per line ideally, and follow this nice cascading staircase effect. I don't know what the psychology is, but it just makes it a way nicer flow when reading. And then yeah, I'll share this prompt with everyone because it is a good one for writing LinkedIn posts with, and following that very framework that I've mentioned. So now let's get back to our presentation. Presents. Dope. Okay, so now finally we've made the best piece of content in the world, the best dish. It's going to be the tastiest thing anyone's ever tasted. But if you don't feed the community, then your posts will not perform. You might have heard of the term "don't post and ghost." Well, this is exactly what we mean. And Fatima and I actually ran a LinkedIn Live on this a few weeks ago now. So if you haven't watched it, highly recommend checking it out. It's on Fatima's profile. Just go to her profile, select events when you scroll down. Then you've got an hour plus of us just talking about how we built an engaged following. Because I know someone who's got a massive audience, a huge audience, but then because they don't build that foster that sense of community, their engagement is low. And it's, you can have all the followers in the world, but if your engagement isn't good, then it's kind of for nothing almost. So yeah, definitely recommend doing that. And one of my favorite strategies is the pinned comment strategy, which you might have seen on my posts, but I actually use Gemini, Ideogram, and sometimes ChatGPT to generate these. I have a GPT on the GPT store called Pinned Comment GPT. And these are probably the only AI comments which I think are acceptable, which I personally use on LinkedIn because they are generated by AI. But of course, I'm feeding it the context, I'm editing, and I'm making them sound human and engaging. And again, this issue with not having images of ourselves, Ideogram or Nano Banana does an excellent job at adding these, and these are great for engagement and also dwell time, which is a hidden, signal to the LinkedIn algorithm, can help your post perform well. So yeah, we won't dive into too much detail about this section because it's not really AI first. It's way more human, and you actually just have to be social, talk with people in the DMs, comment like a human, and just be nice and genuine on social media. I think those are the hacks for this section. Awesome. Okay. So, okay. That is kind of bringing the presentation to a close.
Also, one last thing.
Yeah.
I am doing another session tomorrow. It's a private session, free for anyone to join. I'll drop the link where you can register. It's on how to get inbound leads on LinkedIn. So we've talked about how you can get reach here, how you can create content using AI systems. But if you want to go one step ahead and really understand how do you then convert those views into paying clients, I'm doing a session tomorrow, 60 minutes. You have the time with me to ask questions inside the Zoom meeting as well. I have a limit, however, of only 100 people inside the session, and over 300 have registered. So it's fast come fast basis. Register for the session, and if you're there on time, you will be invited. Otherwise, I'll send the recording anyway to everyone who signs up. So sign up regardless. So I'll leave a link where you can register and see me again tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a really good session, and 100% you do not want to miss that. But okay, now on to our very exciting giveaway. If you've been following our posts, then you might have seen, one repost will win free lifetime community access. And that's exactly what we're giving away in this session. So if you're watching this and you've reposted it, after this session, then sorry, you're too late. And I'm going to spin the wheel once on the people who reposted it from my profile. And then also we're going to spin the wheel again, but from people from Fatima's repost. So it's quite exciting. I'm